Hindi ko nga alam kung tumugtog yun. Hindi ko alam kung tumugtog yung background music. Ano ba yun? Yung ear, sa yung kan ko, Catboy ko. Hindi ko bagay yung sombrero ngayon. Ba na, kulot na rin ang buhok ko. Okay na ba? Okay ba? Okay ba? Okay. Hi guys, the Chris here, that's Krabby MD, and welcome to another video. May narinig lang ako with regards to anger daw na pwedeng, ay, umilaw yung iPad ko. Pwedeng mag-cause ng sakit sa puso. Okay, tingnan nga natin. Well, with regards to anger at sa sakit sa puso, maraming factors ang pwede mo i-consider. Una sa lahat, yung edad. Pangalawa, comorbidities. So, ano ba yung comorbidities? Pwede ba siyang, baka may diabetes siya? Meron ba siyang hypertension? Meron ba siya dating sakit sa puso? Meron ba siya dating stroke? And so forth and so on. So, kung meron siyang comorbidities, ano ba ang risk para sa pasyente kung, let's say, nagalit siya at ano ba yung particular kumbaga age group or kailangan ba may comorbidity para magkaroon ng significant heart attack ang isang tao, no? So relationship yun, emotion, anger, and cardiovascular event. Tingnan natin. Well, pinaka-best, okay, as per requested. Hindi naman per requested, my own request. Gusto natin tignan kung ano yung mga studies with regards to coronary artery disease. Okay? So, the best siguro magagaling sa American Heart Association. Tignan ko kung meron tayo sa Philippine Heart Association or sa PHA. Pero as of now, punta muna tayo sa AHA or AHA with regards to anger and will it predict coronary artery heart disease. Okay, yan. Tingnan natin dito. Okay. Taas ko lang yung pa ako kasi masakit na yung pa ako eh. Okay, this is an open access. Medyo old na yung article. It's around May 2020, 2000 pala. Published by Janice E. Williams et al. Anger proneness predicts the coronary heart disease risk. Prospective analysis from the atherosclerosis risk in communities or ARIC study. Okay. Now, prospective study. May iba lang naman. Pag prospective study is, the study starts from the present, from the time na nagsimula ang proposal ng study na to, moving forward. So, mga ilang taon. Okay? So, hindi lang siya sa isang single event in time, yung study. It is more of, mag-study ka sa present, then the study would continue to grow to the future. Okay? So, since 2000 ito, meaning nag-progress ito for how many years, no? Hanggang matapos yung study. Not sure kung tapos na ba ito or na-discontinue na yung study, pero may data na sila. So, kung may data na sila, meaning meron silang na-identify na risk. Okay? So, ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng article na to? So, increased research attention is being paid to the negative impact of anger on coronary artery disease. So, this is a prospective study. Hindi lang siya isang tao. It is a group of people that was observed for a particular period of time moving forward kung magkakaroon ba sila ng heart attack or coronary artery disease in the future. So, the study examined prospectively association between the traits of anger and the risk of combined acute Coronary heart disease, such as your MI, fatal coronary heart disease, silent MI, cardiac revascularization events, procedure, and a hard event. Pag hard event, ang ibig sabihin nun, either an acute MI or a fatal coronary heart disease. Fatal, meaning namatay. Okay? So, ilan ang participants? Total of 12,986 black and white men and women were enrolled, okay, in this ARIC study. Now, in this study, it is, kumbaga, tinignan nila from the baseline ano ba ang mga characteristics ng mga tao na na-enroll dito. So, syempre, some of them would have hypertension, some of them normotensive. Kung normotensive ang sinasabi ko, yung BP nila, okay, are controlled or within the normal limits. Hindi sila high blood in term. No? Ayoko na magsombrero. Siribok ko eh. Diba? Sorry, na-ADHD ako. Okay, dito pa lang tayo sa abstract. So, before we go, nakita nyo na yung conclusion, diba? So, ano bang nangyari dito? Ang multivariate adjustment hazard ratio of the coronary heart disease for a high versus low anger was 2.2, and for a moderate versus low anger was 1.32. For hard events, the multivariate adjusted hazard ratio, so likelihood, okay, na magkaroon ng hard event or fatal MI, yung sinasabi niya, was 2.69 and 1.35 respectively. That is if there is an emotional event. So, makikita nyo dito, 1.35, 2.69. No statistical significant association between trait of anger and incidence of coronary heart disease risk was observed among hypertensive. Pansin nyo, sabi niya dito, hindi significant kung high blood ka, kung magagalit ka. Now, medyo nakakalito yung data kasi may mga hazard ratio yung mga nandito sa taas. Ba't nila sinabi kung may high blood ba sila or what? Wala, di ba? Pero, pag nabasa nyo sa conclusion, dito, proneness to anger places normotensive middle-aged men and women at risk of significant coronary heart disease morbidity and death independent of the established biological risk factor. Meaning, may factor dyan kung normal yung BP mo or may high blood ka or hypertensive ka when it is involving anger. Okay? Sabi dito, mas prone sa anger-induced CHD events ang mga normotensive aged men and women compared sa hypertensive. Now, bakit kaya? So, we have to think bakit. Tingnan natin. Basahin natin yung article. Let's go directly to the discussion kasi nandun yung nitty-gritty eh. So, to the discussion, again nga, this is a prospective cohort study. Kapag nag-enroll ka kasi ng patient ng prospective cohort study, you start at the present, moving forward. So, hanggang tumanda at umedad yung mga pasyente for a couple of years, tumutuloy yung study. Tinitignan nila kung ilan ba doon ang magkaroon ng sakit sa puso. And again, ay balikan muna natin yung characteristic ng population. So, sino ba na enroll dito? Pwede ba natin i-equate ang sarili natin sa mga tao dito? Well, may konting pagka minimal bias. Hindi mo mawala yun eh kasi the study is from the US and we are Asians. So, you would consider na mas maganda sana may article din tayo from the Philippines. Pero ito, tingnan natin. So, the study population includes white and black men and women who completed the Stillberger trait scale, okay, at the second examination of the ARIC study. So, meaning, may phase ito after the second phase or the second exam na nakapag-successfully answer ng tool nila to gauge the scale, okay, with regards to anger issues, okay. A total of 14,348 ang naging viable to be enrolled sa study. Okay, and to be part of the ARIC study. And the ARIC is a population-based prospective study for cardiovascular disease designed both cohort and surveillance. So moving forward, itong mga 14,000 plus na naging viable for the study, they were observed moving forward. And uh, participants were equally distributed. Hindi lang puro male, hindi lang puro female. Both genders. Hindi lang white, hindi lang black. Okay? Equal racial na differences ang kinonsider. However, yun nga, yung yung sa atin naman, there's no Asian. Okay? No Asian consideration. So that would be somewhat a question sa atin kung will this study count for us. Pero nonetheless, it's a important study pa rin kasi uh, kinonsider pa rin nila for them as Americans. No? So, total of 14,000 participants involved in the second visit continued, no? Pero 13,000 lang ang free to of clinically manifesting CHD. So after that, moving forward, excluded from the analysis were 38 individuals with a racial, ethnic identity other than black and white. So meaning, dito sa 38 na to, baka meron dito yung mga Asian, okay, tapos European, gano'n. Tinanggal nila kasi ang goal lang ng study was around black and, well, ang pangin kasi pakinggan pa rin, no? Either blacks or white, African Americans, no? Identify both black and white. And then 40 were with missing data on hypertension and 114 incomplete responses on the questionnaire. So kasi kung may mga ganito sila, matatanggal sila kasi hindi sila fulfilling sa mga criteria. That is important sa mga research para ma-sort out mo kung magiging equally represented yung mga tao sa study. So, natira na lang from the 14,000 is 12,000. Maraming natanggal. Which is a huge population pa rin. Okay? Now, balik na tayo. So, nakapag-answer sila nung anger scale and malalaman natin kung sino ba yung mas madaling magalit at saka low likelihood na magalit. So, we'll go to the study results. Okay, the discussion. Okay. For the entire cohort, a high trait anger was associated with an increased risk on both combined coronary heart disease and of a heart event. So meaning, meron talagang effect ang anger, both in coronary heart disease and heart event. However, marami pa kasing mga data or confounding data na kailangan natin i-consider. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng tao pare-pareho. Maraming pagkakaiba yan. Babae yan, lalaki yan. Sino dun sa babae sa lalaki ang mas prone dito? Na, meron ba? High blood dyan, ito hindi. Sino mas prone magkaroon ng fatal attack or fatal event or coronary heart disease kesa high blood ba or normotensive ba? So, tingnan natin, ano ba yung mga other criteria na na-consider nila. So, kailangan ka magkaroon ng logistic regression, ganun, multivariate analysis. So, marami kasing variables sa bawat tao ang tinignan ng study na to. So, evidence support, tingnan natin. Ito. The precise biological mechanism and process which anger influences coronary heart disease is yet to be clarified. To be honest, hindi pa siya makakapag fully provide ng solid evidence na regardless with any criteria, makakapag-cause siya ng MI or coronary heart disease in the future. However, if you have certain variables na nakita sa study na to, it would pose a higher risk. Okay? So, in the hypothesis, sabi nga dito, catecholamine secretion induced by anger are damaging to the heart. Well, that is true. And its vasculature, and also play a role in the development of atherosclerotic lesions. Kasi ang catecholamines, ito yung mga hormones sa katawan natin or substances na pag once na nire-release siya, no, sa katawan, magkakause siya ng sympathetic response, meaning bibilis ang pitik ng puso, okay? Kasi flight or fight yan, bibilis. Kapag isipin mo pa nagagalit ka, biglang lalakas ang pintig ng puso, magpapalpitate ka, tapos pwedeng magkaroon ng restriction ng mga blood vessels because of uh, kailangan magkaroon ng heightened emotional delivery ng oxygen. Ang gagawin niyan, bibilis ang pitik talaga. High oxygen demand ang mangyayari dyan. So, mataas kasi ang catecholamines ng katawan, like your epinephrine and norepinephrine that is secreted sa adrenals mo. So, kapag ganyan, galit na galit ka, okay, yung heart mo, magkakaroon ng higher output, mapapagod at magkakaroon to the point na magkakaroon siya ng damage, okay? Direct damage kasi over-fatigue siya. Pati dun sa blood vessels mo. Kapag nag-provide ka ng epinephrine sa blood vessels mo, usually it constricts, okay? And then, mataas na nga yung BP mo, tapos nag-constrict pa siya, edi more, magkakaroon ng, direct damage sa blood vessels, di ba? So further, it confirms the presence of catecholamine is associated with increased adhesion and aggregation. Kasi lumiliit yung daluyan ng dugo, yung blood nako-compact din. Pag nako-compact din, yung platelets nagbubuo, okay, nagkakaroon ng kumpulan, it would cause clumps, plaques, and it would either cause yung mga plaques na yon aggregation. So magkukumpulan sila. Pwedeng magkaroon ng clot. Okay? Yung clot na yan, kapag lumaki masyado, pwedeng pumara sa mga ugat. Sa puso, sa isang mga limbs, or sa mga kamay, or sa utak. That depends on how much how much yung platelets na nag-clamp. Okay? Now, that depends din kung let's say meron kang history of coronary artery disease or atherosclerosis. Well, kung may plaque ka dyan at galit ka na dislodge, bumara, mas mabilis yun compared sa healthy na tao at nagalit. Diba? Now, ano pa yung naging evidence niya? So, adhesions, lipid mobilization, active macrophage, each of which have implicated in the complex process of atherogenesis, stemming for endothelial injury ending to the formation of plaques. Yun kasi, no, mabilis ang pitik ng puso. So, yung turbulent flow ng dugo sa loob ng blood vessel, daluyan ng dugo, magkakos din ng damage sa daluyan ng dugo. And kapag nagkakaroon ng damage, papasok doon ng platelets, magkakos ng aggregation, and dun sa aggregation na yon, pati lipids nagkakaroon ng plaque formation. Lalo na kung let's say yung diet ng pasyente ay high fat diet. So kung magkakaroon ng plaque formation at tuloy-tuloy yung galit, araw-araw ka na lang nagagalit, no, nadadamage yung blood vessel. Nadadamage yung blood vessel, nagde-deposit ng plaque, de-deposit ng taba. Okay, that would cause atherogenesis, yung plaque na yun. Now, once nagalit ka ulit at pagkakataon na yun, natanggal yung plaque, tumaan sa isa sa mga ugat sa puso, well, hopefully matanggal siya agad kasi kung hindi, bumara siya, pwede mag-cause ng myocardial infarction or MI. Yun ang ayaw naman natin. No? That is the usual effects of yun, atherogenesis kapag nagkakaroon ka ng clamping. Now, ang gusto natin malaman dito, kapag galit na galit ka. So, association of anger and CHD risk dito. Among hypertensive individuals might have been due to the cardioprotective effects of their medication, had lower CHD morbidity and mortality rates. Pansin nyo, sabi niya sa high blood, mas mababa ang risk of having a CHD risk kapag galit. Kapag nag-take ng gamot regularly. Okay? Kapag nag-take ng gamot regularly kasi may effect yung medications nila. Una, beta blockers. Your beta blockers, usually isa sa mga gamot for hypertension. Kapag binibigay mo yan, nire-regulate niya yung heart rate. Di ba kapag galit ka, bumibilis ang pitik ng puso. So yung beta blocker, iko-kontra niya yun. Okay? Iko-kontra niya yung pagpitik ng puso kapag nung nagagalit ka. Let's say, nag-take ka ng maintenance mo. So yung beta blocker would act as a safety net sa'yo. No? Na, wag kang bibilis. Nandito ako. So babaga, yung BP mo at saka yung heart rate mo, makokontrol, mareregulate siya ng beta blocker, which is the hypertensive medication. Okay? Ano pa? Calcium channel blockers. Okay, calcium channel blockers. Rate din siya. So, yung non-dihydropyridines, like yung amlodipine, ganun, it will also affect yung heart rate. So, babagalan niya din yung heart rate mo. Ano pa ba? Nitrates, na kadalasan tinitik sa mga patients na may previous heart attack, ay heart disease. So, ang ginagawa kasi doon is dilation, vasodilation. So, peripheral vasodilation at saka cardiac vasodilation. Kapag ginawa yon, okay, mas malaki ang daluyan ng dugo at saka ma-increase yung oxygen demand. Okay, so, ay malilesen rather. No? Kasi mabibigay niya mapoprovide niya yung area with adequate supply. And yung dilation na yon, it would lessen also hypertension sa vascular lining, okay, malalesen yung aggregation ng platelets. And speaking of aggregation, how about yung aspirin? Kapag may mga pasyenteng may previous ischemic heart disease, pag nagagalit sila, their aspirin also prevents aggregation. Para kapag naggalit ka, okay, yung mga platelets, hindi sila magkukumpulan at mag-cause ng plaque. Mas beneficial kapag may maintenance ang isang tao na known hypertensive or known cardiovascular with known cardiovascular disease. Okay? Kasi sila, mas may safety net sila. May allowance pa sila. Kapag nagalit sila, at least may gamot na nakareserba na sa kanila. Okay? Calcium channel blocker. Si diuretic din, ang gagawin niya doon, babawasan niya yung fluid sa may daluyan ng dugo. And at the same time, pag mababa yung fluid, hindi magkakaroon ng increase na pressure sa loob, hindi rin nagkakaroon ng damage sa daluyan ng dugo. Diba? Point is, ang sabi niya dito, mas mababa ang risk ng anger-associated cardiovascular risk or magkaroon ka ng atake sa puso dahil sa galit sa mga pasyenteng may high blood na nag-take ng maintenance regularly. Okay, mas mababa. Kumpara sa mga bata, okay, middle-aged men na walang kinetik na gamot. Kasi wala naman indication for their medication. Diba? So kung let's say middle-aged men, normotensive, normal ang BP, sila yung galit ng galit. Well, that has a higher risk compared to those with hypertension na regularly taking, okay, ng mga medication nila. So, kaya sabi dito, merong consideration on the dose on the medication, kung meron siyang comorbidity na may medication, at saka kung wala siyang medication, at saka kung compliant siya sa medication niya. So, anong moral of the story dito? Moral of the story. Moral of the article. So, sa study nito, okay, the strength of the study is its prospective design. Una sa lahat, inobserve nila ito moving forward sa mga tao na na-enroll dito. Okay? Its basis is real-time, kumbaga, nung ginawa yung study nito. Another strength is the population based on both black and white. Siguro kung sa US, sakit. Siguro kung sa US ito, malakas ang bearing nito. Pero sa atin sa Asia, well, we'll consider the data. Maganda rin sana kung meron din tayo study dito, prospectively. Pero kasi kapag nag-provide ka ng prospective cohort study na ganito, medyo mahal. Kasi babantayan mo lahat. Isipin mo yung 12,000 binantayan mo. Well, they have the budget, they have the means. The government can provide funds for these type of studies. Sa atin mukhang hindi pa natin kaya yung mga ganitong studies. Pero at least meron nagagawa sa labas. Okay? However, tingnan natin kung ano bang weakness. The classification of the disease was based on the data abstraction of the medical records, the shared summaries, and which admittedly is a process of subject to error depending. Okay, yun nga lang. I think ito yung ito yung weakness niya. Um, depende din sa mga records ng patient. Okay, kung let's say compliant ba siya talaga or naging non-compliant siya. You cannot fully tell the compliance if by looking at the medical records. Palay mo di siya nagpatingin for a couple of months. Pero just to show us the importance of this study is since meron naman siyang sinabing weakness doon, yun nga, yung incompleteness nung sa mga data, pwede yun. Another potential weakness of this study is relatively the marginal probability of hypertension interaction in reference to multi-stratification that were conducted. However, interaction is rather strong despite the marginal probability value, as indicated by the nearly threefold increase of incidence of coronary heart disease risk in normotensive. Yeah. So, sabi niya dito, weakness of the probability value of hypertension interaction. Now, meron kasing mga hypertensive na hindi talaga uminom ng gamot. Meron din yung hypertensive na sobrang compliant naman sa gamot. So, kailangan din ma-identify kung alin ba sa mga studies ang naging compliant. Okay, at naging non-compliant. So, further studies sana would focus on patients lang na solely hypertensive para ma-identify talaga kung being hypertensive and having anger issues impose a higher risk. Okay? Maganda rin sana magkaroon ng separate study na gano'n. Pero nonetheless, ang sabi niya dito, however, this interaction is rather strong as indicated that by nearly threefold increase of the incidence of coronary heart disease is found in normotensive. Mas mataas sa normotensive. Isipin nyo kasi kapag let's say normal ang BP mo, tapos galit ka ng galit. Ang ganda na nga ng lifestyle mo, pero galit ka ng, galit ka araw-araw. Tapos, galit ka araw-araw, nag-jogging ka naman, galit ka araw-araw. Nada-damage yung heart mo compared sa tao may high blood. Kasi yung katawan, nag-a-adapt. Isipin mo kung sa pasyenteng may high blood, na-adapt na yung katawan niya dahil yung BP niya, mataas na noon pa, pero nare-regulate siya ng gamot. So may allowance yung mga pasyente may high blood, basta't may gamot silang iniinom. Pero kung ikaw, normotensive, normal ang BP, middle age, tapos you have anger issues, mas malaki talaga ang chance mo magkaroon ng cardiac event compared sa mga may high blood kasi hindi sanay ang katawan mo sa sudden increase of your fight or flight na interaction or your catecholamines. Kasi kapag let's say nagalit ka araw-araw, let's say sa trabaho, damage yung heart, yung yung daluyan ng dugo. And later on kapag ganon, it might even cause an event na premature coronary heart artery disease ang mangyari sa'yo. So, ano ba moral of the story, of this story or journal? Masyadong magalit, no? In this situation, kapag if you want to think of it, kapag galit ka, you should understand why. Ba't ka galit? Pero, tama ba? Kung galit yung isang tao, dapat ba, kapag araw-araw kang galit, dapat ba galit ka lang lagi? Pwede naman pag-usapan nyo. Pwede namang alamin mo kung bakit ano yung mali. Malay mo pala, ikaw pala, meron siyang pagkakamali, meron din akong pagkakamali, di ba? Pag ganun yung nangyari, well, better to talk it out and understand, identify kung ano ba yung reason bakit nagkakaroon ka ng ganitong problems. Hindi yung tuloy-tuloy na galit ka na ng araw-araw. Parang hindi ka na naghanap ng rason. Okay? Hindi ka na naghanap ng resolution sa iyong anger issues. Okay? Pero with regards to this, I think yeah, anger is not a solely 100% guarantee that pwede mag-cause ng coronary artery event, but you have to identify kung anong population ang involved dito. So yun, una, if the patient is hypertensive and if the patient is compliant with the medication, may leeway siya. Pwedeng mag-adjust yung katawan with regards to the medication. Pero kung middle-aged man, normotensive, galit araw-araw, yung mga yan, pag galit araw-araw, well, that's entirely the reason why nagkakaroon ng direct damage. Kasi if you have bursting with anger all the time, mayroon ding problem dyan. Hindi lang siguro sa heart, hindi rin lang din siguro sa catecholamines. Well, ano ba yung other causes? Kasi kapag ganyan, anger, mataas ang BP, middle-aged man, profusely sweating, consider pa, siguro kung masyadong bata, no? Pwede mo ba rin consider ang mga other secondary cause of hypertension. Malay mo, the patient is a case of pheochromocytoma. Kapag pheochromocytoma, may bukol sa may adrenals, lagi nag-release ng catecholamines. Yan, may anger issue din yan. So, kapag ganon, iba ng usapan yun. Kailangan mo din magpatingin. Biologic. So, consults are important. Okay? So, ano ba yung sagot? That depends on the person, that depends on the circumstance, and that depends on the type of health the person has. Okay? Anger is a natural response, pero you should identify ano ba yung reason bakit kasi nagagalit. No? Sure ka? Yung galit bang yun ay valid? Or yung galit bang yun ay solely yung reason? No? Malay mo hindi pala yung galit. Malay mo yung isa pala kailangan lang pag-usapan. Okay? So, hanggang doon lang. Yung article siguro i-post ko na lang sa description. And hopefully, may natutunan kayo with regards to anger proneness and coronary heart disease risk. Okay, this has been Doc Chris, the Scrubby MD. And thank you for watching. Sana outro ko. Bye.